Test one, two. All right, here we go. Oh man. Sorry guys, I'm gonna do something real quick. Test. Okay, yeah, people can hear me. That's good. I always have issues with this thing for some reason. It just goes crazy. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just editing. Oh man, this is loud. So I tend to listen to music as I edit, and this music is music I'll choose for videos, rather than actually work and then try to find a song. Is I like to play it in the background, and if I catch something, I'll save it and I'll try to listen to the song again, and it just helps me, pick songs in a more not less time consuming manner, kind of like manage my time better. So if I'm gonna listen to music, might as well listen to stuff I'll use for me future videos and stuff. Test. All right, that's good. I'm trying to lower the volume here. Um, this is audio, by the way. I have a lifetime membership with them. When they launched, I ended up just jumping on it and paid $200 for a lifetime membership. So far, I was spoiled by Artlist, and so now like I'm slowly starting to really get used to it, and only use audio now that my Artlist account expired. So definitely recommend checking out audio and checking out their lifetime membership. It's still active. You just gotta look for the coupon or just search for them on Google, and you'll save the Save 100 coupon code. And you could, instead of spending $300, you can spend $200 and you have music for life. And just FYI, Artlist is I highly recommend Artlist. It's $200 a year though, so if you got the money, go for it. If you rather have a lifetime membership, go for audio. They have decent music as well there, and some of the artists you find in Artlist are also in audio. All right, so I've been calling, and I slowly started editing this wedding again. But every time I call through it and I go through it, I just stop and I can't help but edit a picture. Um, and here, as you can see, here's the before shot and here's the after shot. I did a couple of things for this. Let me see here. I need to stop opening up my message during live stream. But yeah, no, I don't make any money out of this. Thank you. I love you, man. I miss you, bro. Fuck COVID. Oh shit, I'm gonna end up getting struck by YouTube. Oh well, that is what it is. Anyways, all right. So it's funny that I say F COVID and then I sniffle. I don't have COVID. I know. I just have I don't know what the heck I've had for the last 3 weeks. I had this crazy respiratory infection. It sounds awful to say because, I mean, anything could be it, dude. And I'm trying my best to not. We don't go out anywhere. We just order out, pick up food. I go grocery shopping. I put on a mask. I've had a few gigs, and I end up wearing a mask as much as I can. Um, but I need to make money, man, and I'm doing my best to stay safe. But anyways, let me open up my YouTube thing here. That way, if I need to answer any questions, I will do so. Oh, there's 0 people watching. Super interesting. Here, sorry, I'm gonna get to it here in a second. I'm just gonna. Okay. It's like a fucking share button here. Here it is. All right. I'm trying to make all these videos because I really wanna help people out. I'm not an expert, man, but like people ask me questions all the time, and this is your chance. So ask away, B. All right. So let's start over here. This is my before shot. Let me just focus on the one shot and see if I can just close this. All right. So this is my after shot actually. This is what it looked like before. This is what it looks like now. I did a couple things. I didn't go too crazy on it. Um, I know what you're asking yourself is how did you get the background to stay exposed properly while exposing your subjects? So we'll do a couple things and I'll show you. Let's see here. Okay. So all right, let's start with our sky and everything else. So let's start with our ambient. First thing I did is I choose my tones before anything. I always choose my tones. And so what I do is I have a set of tones that I use. By tones I mean my presets. So I have these presets that I bought. I renamed them only because I don't want anybody to buy them because they're literally the same thing right here, dude. They're just like some minor tweaks. And I really wouldn't recommend you spending $100 only to come out that they look the same. So look at tone 4. Look at tone 4. No difference, right? Yeah, I spent $100 on these. These were free that a friend gave me, and these are some presets I bought for $100. And this photographer is super famous, dude. And so, yeah. Sorry, but photographers who make money off other photographers, they're just cannibals, and you're the worst. Anyways, so first thing I did is I chose my tones, and from what I remember is I went with a warmer tone. That's my thing. So I went with tones 1. I always go with tones 1. It's one of my favorites. Go to probably 95% of the time. I go towards that. Um, so I choose my tones, and then next thing I did was I started tweaking my ambient stuff, my ambient colors and everything. I'm gonna close that so you can tell. So it is. Make a comparison here. I made minor tweaks, not too much. I think I just depended on my ambient as it was. I did some minor modifications actually with just them. I did show you. I grabbed my pen and I did this. See these settings right here? Pump up my exposures and everything. So I copied that brush, and what I did is I started just focusing on them. Show the overcast overlay just so you keep an eye on where your brush is going. I'm very messy at the beginning, and then I clean up afterwards. If you try to do everything at once, you're gonna struggle. You're gonna have a hard time. Not a hard time, but you're just gonna just save some time. Just be messy, man. It's okay. Just like that. And then I'll clean it up afterwards. I was more careful with the other one, to tell you the truth. So I'm just going through these on the edge. Basically what I'm doing is I'm just cleaning up everything I can. And I'm staying up pretty late lately. I just can't go to bed. Got a lot on my mind besides the obvious that everybody thinks about. This life is weird, man. I'm the happiest I've been in months since I quit my job back in March, and then a week later we went into lockdown. But it's not like I had anything to shoot. But besides that, I'm the happiest I've ever been. But I just feel like there's so much I want to do, and I have a ball chain or whatever that thing is in my leg, and I feel like COVID just really prevents me. And not just has nothing to do with photography, but rather like I want to go out with my family and do stuff, man. But it's hard, because either you're practicing some safe distance and everything, but you got people like publicly shaming families or something like that because they think they're not being safe with their families. And I just don't like drama. I don't like confrontation. I cannot control myself emotionally, and I will just lash out. And not like Karen mode, like leave me alive. No, like I have full on rage mode. I do not hold back, and that is a very big problem for me. So I'd rather just be chill with my family, go to drive-thrus, get some ice cream, play outside the house and everything. I don't want my kid to explore the world. He's getting older now, and I want to show him around now. He's talking and everything, so I just want him to experience things. But I know he won't remember all that stuff or whatever. I don't even know why I'm getting all deep here. I'm sorry, guys. just jumping in here, but I was talking about the music I listen to. Some of the music I listen to is from audio, and I play it as background music, um, and it kind of helps me focus. And I usually just lean in towards cinematic and classical, and sometimes some like more upbeat stuff. But it all depends on what type of project I'm gonna work with in the future. Because I just conserve time by listening to music now rather than just listening to like your normal music. And that music is the music I choose for my videos. Cause sometimes as a videographer, man, you might listen to a song and you'll love it, but you got to think about the client that sometimes they're not gonna love it, and you spend all this time trying to find a song when you could just be efficient, proactive, and listen to the music as you work. Rather, that way, when you get the reaction that like, hey, we kind of don't like that song, you won't feel like you spend all this time trying to find a good song for them. So I guess I've heard a little less. But word of advice, and I'm probably gonna start doing it, is I'm gonna start pretty much putting in my contracts that the songs I use are my style. And if you hire me, that's my style. And I don't want to be like, it's my way or the highway. But as we get busier, trying to just replace a song is not that easy. It's not like, oh, just replace a song. No, like you'll have to edit the whole video all over again to the beat, because songs change. I mean, videos kind of play along with the music, and so it's not as easy as just saying, you know what, man, let me just change the song. This is in Photoshop. It's not that easy. And I want to be there for my clients, and I want to say yes to everything. But yeah, they also need to, cut you some slack. So I'm only editing this one just to show you how I did the last one, if I can remember. I'm trying to make it as close as possible. But pretty much, it's very important whenever you shoot a picture just like this one. If you have a really nice, wonderful sky, that you always shoot to preserve the highlights. Especially a sky like this. So I wanted to preserve the cloud. That was a huge supercell. I don't know if you saw my last video, but that was a gigantic supercell that was creeping up in the background, and I just had to preserve it, man. There was no way I was gonna miss out on this guy. Where's he? Oops. There it is. Alright, so now let's pump up our highlights here. I'm gonna try to copy the other one. What is this? Oh. Am I really low? Oh shit, hold on. Alright, this is for Mike. Let me know if you can hear me. Turned up. Thanks, baby doll. Alright, cool. Alright, so this is my other image. What do I have in my brushes here? I had highlights down, exposure, content. Alright. Cool. Man, I'm trying to copy the other settings here. 41, 0, I don't know why I had my highlights like that. Damn. That's weird. They're probably just different exposures altogether. And I don't want to give up on this, so let's just make it as close as possible. Shadows. Man, took like little to no effort on this shot. It's probably that. There you go. There you go. So it's 41s. I was looking at the eye. That's why I was clicked in the eye. See that? Alright. What's up with this red banding here? That's annoying. I'm going to clean that. See here, 41, 0, 23, 49. I guess this is just low. Yeah, I just had like low exposure on this one or something. Let me check if I actually pump up the exposure in this one. Yeah, 25. Okay, cool. There you go. Oh shit. Put down 25. Alright, so that's as close as possible as I can get. That's pretty good. Alright, so here I'll show you the next trick that I did. There's still a slight difference. I don't like grain, by the way. Sometimes I like grain, sometimes I don't. That's just, I'm not a fan of it. So this is a really neat tool. If you don't want to pump that anymore, I'm going to have to clean this. I'll clean this afterwards. Sorry, I know it's bothering you guys. So this tool right here, I don't know what it's called. I've never bothered to learn the names of stuff. I just know that this button does this, you know. So there you go. Expand it a little bit. There you go. And then reduce the exposure here. I'll probably keep it around 21. I think that's what I used over here. Oh, 56. That's really high. 78 apparently. Gradient tool. Yeah, it's a gradient tool, Mike. Okay, smarty pants. Thought there was like a fancier name, like the Dooblab. The Dooblab tool. Just made that up. Okay. 21. Man, it seems so high. But I'll try to actually lower it down here like this. That's as close as that. It's a little brighter. It's okay. So I just used a couple things. I used a gradient tool just to preserve this over here. I used just the selection tool here, this little brush, and I just focused on them. Lower the gradient. I don't like gradients. Cleaned around the edges. I'm not going to do it for this picture because I'm actually going to choose this one for my final shot. This is just an example. Mike is probably watching right now. He shot this wedding with me, and I don't think I will ever shoot another wedding without anybody else when it comes with video or photo. I highly advise for you to find your boo, your photo boo, and stick with them because it will make working so much easier. From personal experience and other experience with other photographers and videographers, it's always a pissing contest trying to work with somebody that you don't know. Because every time I would shoot with somebody, it would turn into trying to outperform the other person, when at the end, you really want to focus on the couple. And you guys want to shoot and work together for the couple, you know, not try to outdo each other, because one, they're going to get a very inconsistent product at the end. Two, you won't get enough time to shoot because somebody's either hogging the couple or you're not communicating very well with your counterpart or opposite photographer or videographer, and so it would just make for a very not very creatively fulfilling wedding. So always, either if you're not working with your partner that you're used to shooting in weddings, go up to the vendor, introduce yourself, communicate, become instant best friends, and pretty much give each other a pat on the back, tell them you're gonna kill this wedding today. Same thing with the DJ, same thing with anybody that shows up with a cake. Introduce yourselves, man. The best investment that you can give yourself for every wedding you go to is introducing yourself to a DJ, getting a card, getting a card from them, getting a card from whoever's delivering the flowers, and just that way, dude, whenever you turn this wedding in, you tag them in all the Instagram pictures, you offer them pictures, and that way whenever brides or grooms or the couples are looking for their photographer or videographer, they got information. It's like, oh yeah, look at this photographer, and they'll refer you, dude. And it just takes one referral to really keep you to make that a habit, so you can remember every time you show up to shoot a wedding or something. You know, just always become friends with vendors. You know, they're not your competition, regardless if it's another videographer, photographer. They're not your competition. Just always introduce yourself. Be professional. It's not a pissing contest. Your best investment is to give your work away to vendors. Don't look at it as like, oh, you need to pay me for this. No, dude. Like, trust me, it'll pay off down the line. Doesn't matter if it's a month, doesn't matter if it's a year, doesn't matter if it's 2 years. One wedding will just get you way more opportunities in the future. That's for sure. Um, Opportunities are an amazing thing, and they are. I know this quote, and I always forget the quote when I'm about to say it, but there's a great quote on opportunities, and I have a couple cool stories about opportunities. So I'll come up with the smallest story I can think of right now about opportunities, and then so a couple months ago, I'm gonna say probably in December, I went to a deadlift party that my friend Nick put it together, and this deadlift party, um, I wasn't gonna go. I wasn't feeling well or something. I don't know. Just probably being an introvert, didn't want to go. But I ended up going because I'm tired of being that person that makes plans and then cancels them, and then you feel like a dick because you didn't go. So I ended up going, and I put together a nice little 2 minute, 4 minute video of of the deadlift party, right? As it called it, and I edited it the next day. And then 2 days later, I get a call from Nick, or a text message from Nick. It's like, hey, my boy wants to talk to you about getting some work done. Here's his information. Contact him. And then it just went from there. So he hits me up and gives me all the information. And he says, hey, man, I need some video done for my business. I run a cigar company and I do this. It was like a cigar subscription company, and this is what I do. I was like, okay, so you just want some Instagram content? And he's like, yeah. So I ended up wanting to meet the guy, and it ends up being just a full-on conversation and a business interview, business opportunity about shooting actual episodes. Like, dude, I shoot little mini 2 minute videos, and this guy wanted to shoot full-on hour episodes, and I was like, I guess I can do it. It's just a longer 2 minute video, you know. So out of me just going to shoot this deadlift party, and I made a little 2 minute, 3 minute video, ended up bringing me an opportunity with somebody else, and that opportunity has turned into me creating already to date 2 videos that have over 100,000 views, and has um, you know allowed me to have a couple $1,000s in just a few months that has helped me survive this pandemic. It's been enough for me to make a living off of it. Opportunities come in at any moment. You just never know. So definitely jump on everything, regardless if there's this is a great shot, White Claw. Regardless if you don't think that something is going to come through it, there's definitely the opportunity to learn from it, and don't ever think that an opportunity was wasted. And I've photographed for people. I've been taken advantage. People have screwed me over plenty of times. I've never burned those bridges, but I definitely don't work with them again. And if it doesn't work out, walk away, take what you learn from it, and grow from it. Don't ever harp on it. Don't say, oh, I'm never going to trust somebody again. But there's nothing wrong with always being a little hesitant. I know I was a little hesitant with this cigar subscription company because I got screwed over a couple of times. And this guy's name is Brian. This guy has delivered on everything he's talked about what his goals are, and definitely has really motivated me to quit my job and say, you know what, I'm gonna make a leap of faith and just do it. And I ended up doing it, dude. I ended up quitting my job, and I've been sustaining myself with that income, with wedding work, with portrait photography, and this is the happiest I've been. Of course, this was 10 years in the making, man. 10 years in the making of trying to, really jump into this. So yeah, man, opportunities, they come at you. They come knocking at your door. Don't hesitate. Open it, and just see where it takes you, because you never know. This is a great shot. So this reception started off really quiet, man. Started off definitely really quiet, and me and Mike were shooting, and we're like, it's pretty tame. And then, out of nowhere, the White Claw comes out, and the party starts. It's just very generic to say that, but it actually got really intensely fun, man. Like they were just playing the most. Okay, so let me go back over here. So, mother of the groom, Dude, she knew all the lyrics to "Lose Yourself" by Eminem. She was jamming out hard. I loved it, dude. It was great. What a wonderful lady. What a wonderful family. Um, One of the best things to do is to get out of all these weddings is moments like these, and it obviously reactions that you never thought you were gonna get. Um, Definitely, definitely, definitely one to remember. Man, this pink light really killed all my shots, but I can work with it. I could probably fix it. Um, Probably got Mike like, I know what to do. So he'll probably say something if he's still watching. But let's go back to some more portraits here. The supercell, bro. Jesus. So here's another example of me trying to preserve the highlights. I ended up kind of sacrificing the exposure on them a little bit, which is fine. I can try to save it if I just like end up just pumping it up like that, and then using a brush to kind of darken the background a little bit, and then reducing the highlights here. See that? So you reduce the highlights all the way, pump up the exposure, and then really I can reduce the shadows. Now I'm gonna increase the shadows, and then oh, I know this song. Oh, I'm gonna save this song. See, that's what I'm talking about, guys. This song was in our list, so that's great. So again, let's see what this looked like before. This is what the shot looked before. This is what it looks like now. I ended up pumping the exposure, but I lowered the highlights. I increased the shadows to increase the shadows in them, and then I'm going to reduce the whites to kind of save the detail in the clouds. Reduce the blacks a little bit. Maybe pump up the contrast, but I think it's going to make the whites pop. Yeah, so I'll just lower the contrast here. Alright, so now I'm going to go here. I'm going to reset everything to have a fresh light here. I'm just going to increase the exposure by 15 and try 20. Highlights, the contrast here, shadows, the whites. Start with that. See where this takes us. As you can see, I haven't chosen my tones yet. I'll do that after. I don't think my exposure settings are going to be changed, but let's see. Yeah, it's fine. See that? I'll go with 1. Cool. And I'll go ahead and reduce the gradient now. So I've been sending some of these shots that I finished to my bride. I try to strike while the iron is hot and try to release as many photos as possible. While everybody still has that wedding high, it's really important. It's really important to do so. Because people are going to go into the Facebook, they're going to want to see shots, and so I highly advise you do that right away. That's my personal preference. Strike while the iron's hot, man. Let me look at my questions here. I don't think I've got anything. Yo, gradient filters. Valens. It's called the blue blab. That's what it's called, the blue blab. It's funny. I'm getting corrected on things that I should know, but I tell you, I don't care for things. I just know that these tools do this. The blue blab tool. That's what we're gonna call it, guys. My Pokemon masters. So I'm being messy. It's okay. I hate this button right here. Creates like some red banding or something. So he's a little bit out of he's blurry a little bit. He's not focused at all. It's okay because I focused on her. Let's see how this looks like. Why would you close this when you're trying to play it? Oh, that's why. Leave it on like that. Cool. Let me try this other one. I want some warmer tones though. Let me just increase the warm tones over here. Too warm. That's better. 655. That's kind of cool right there, but hold on. There you go. See? It's too much. I'm gonna lower it. at my hipster mustache. I ended up messing my beard up, and so now I have like a hipster thing on. It's like a Mexican hipster. El hipster. That's what we're called. So after this, I think tomorrow night, if I get time, I might do a portrait edit of Chris Craig that came out the other day. Chris is a really cool guy I met back when I started my fitness photography, and he's been like my go-to to photographing when I want to try new things, and he's always down. He's always down to shoot, um, and I've developed a great relationship with that guy. That dude is pretty amazing. He's a really cool dude. Definitely one of the greatest attitudes I've met in a while. Um, it's really hard to find people like that, especially not to stereotype, but the dude's like 6'9", built like a tank, and the majority of people that think like that look like that are probably shallow or like they're not intelligent or something. But this dude is quite the opposite, and it's a really cool guy. Um, Definitely a good friend to have. I don't know what I would. It sounds awful, like good friend to have for certain situations. I don't know what situation. It's just a good friend to have in front of my camera. Um, so definitely very helpful. Just delete that. I don't know if that exists. Man, now that I think about it, I wish I could have just shot her with a cloud. And I could try and see if I can get him out of the shot. Now I feel like a total douche doing that. But it'd be kind of cool to have her by herself in the shot. That'd be an easy edit. It'd be really time consuming though if I try to do it tonight. But I did get a solo shot of her though. It's over. So this is, I told you, I don't know if you guys saw my previous video, but we actually, we did our portraits, right? And then they went inside an hour later, did their eating, and then they were chilling. And then 20 minutes before the sunset, I'm like, yo, let's go outside, let's take these sunset shots. And they were a little hesitant because they're low on time, but I went up to the DJ, and like I said, always be friendly to your vendors and introduce yourself. I went up to him, like, hey man, you think I could just have like a couple minutes? We'll be back. And DJs are very strict with their time, because they want to stay on schedule, and that's their job almost. But the guy was cool. He was flexible. He's like, yeah man, go for it. So we went outside and we took these shots right here, by the Supercell, and they turned out great, man. You just gotta take a chance. And I'm really happy with the way they turned out. I'm trying to look for a solo shot of her. This is one of some of my favorites. Also, the other blur one's my favorite. We did some cool stuff with the veil. Did some solo shots. Got inside the veil. It was pretty windy, so it was kind of hard to get some good stuff. Let me see if I have my solo shots of her. Yeah, I do. I made the groom work like this. Just look at him run. That's awesome. That's my favorite right there because there's movement and it looks natural. This one just looks too straight and it's cut off the shot. That's just a personal preference. So I like to go with this. So if I were to edit this right now, I'm gonna get rid of this line right here. This, probably crop it a little bit. I don't know if it bothers you guys at all to have this. I don't know. It doesn't. The barrel something. I forget the word. I can't think right now. My head hurts. But I like it. I like not having it most of the time because I love the gradient, the vignetting that it creates. So I'm gonna keep it right now. Let's go with my tones here. Tones. This one. I think that's the tones I used last time, so I'm gonna keep it those. I'm gonna crop it now. I think I shot this with the A7 III. I wish I could have shot it with the A7R, but I wasn't thinking, so 657 looks like. Trying to cut the veil, and I want to make the house even as well. Before I do that, let me see if I went a little wider. Kind of did. That's kind of cool too, man, but I feel like if I crop it and straighten it out, it's going to cut off the dress. Yeah, so. Go back. There you go. So let's go over here. It's kind of straight house. Cockeyed ass. That's great right there. All right, cool. Man, I should have done a wide shot just like I did with them over here. Somewhere over here. Damn, how far are we behind on this video? Oh, you know what? That's probably why. There you go. Alright, so I got all that. I want to decrease the ambient lighting here. I want to preserve the skies, all that. Pump up the shadows a little bit. Okay, that's good. So these new updates are kind of cool now, man. My friend Mike was telling me that they added a hue control only for the brushes, so that's kind of cool. I just updated today because I never keep up with anything. My friend Valance would say that's a lie because apparently I buy all the gear. You don't know me. Okay, you do know me. How long has it been streaming for? Jesus. Okay, this is my last edit, and then I'll end it. I just want to show you guys some stuff here. I'm using similar things I did before. Oh, here's the other edit. I should just copy the tones. I think it's this one. Oops. Okay. There you go. That's better. Choose the exposure. Yeah. Pump up that gradient tool again. Water low exposed. Gotta keep that consistency, man. That was a beautiful dress you wore, though. And she had these awesome chucks that were all like bedazzled out, and so she was dancing all night with them. So brides, get yourself some chucks that are bedazzled so you can dance all night. Nothing cooler than a bride dancing, man. I think when they have fun like that, it makes for a really great wedding. So, have a drink, enjoy yourselves, have a great day. Here. So white is very forgiving. So even if you don't expose it all and you leave an edge, you'll be fine. Skin, on the other hand, and hair, it's a whole different story. So undo that. Or how my kid says, "What do?" I love him. did I start? It's down here. Yeah, that's awesome. So a couple of things. I'm gonna make some videos this week. I haven't made any live videos, just a bunch of edits. I've been a little busy, as you can tell. But I'm gonna talk about some new gear I purchased. And then I'm going to talk about a lens I purchased as well, and I'm going to give myself a challenge, and I want to see if you guys can do the same. So basically, and I'll spill the beans now because I doubt anybody's lot watching, is I bought a 14mm Cine lens, and I'm going to shoot an engagement session with just one with a 14mm. That's it, just a 14mm, and I want to see how well I can improve my compositions with a 14mm lens. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't that a fisheye? No, not really. It is pretty wide, but it's not really considered a fisheye. So, I should arrive tomorrow. As soon as I'm done shooting something with it, I'll do a review. But definitely what I plan on doing is shooting an engagement session with it, and see if I can get away with using a very wide focal length to get something beautiful. Sorry, this computer's probably going crazy trying to stream and do this at the same time. Okay, cool. I got my nicely exposed bride. Ow, I just scratched that. A scab. I'm probably gonna be bleeding all day. Alright, soft proofing. Nope, I want to see the before and after. That's it. Man, I do not like the unevenness, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Alright, now we're gonna edit the poles from here and then fix the sky a little bit. These clouds are a little distracting, so we gotta fix them. Cloud details fine with me. I'm not gonna be too picky about them, but I definitely want to get rid of the flags and the fixed part of the skies. So let's go ahead and do that. I think I'm gonna just increase the temperature on the gradient a little bit. So as you can see that I increased the gradient only. Want to be straight about, there you go. Now it's nice and fixed. Only on this, not the sky. So I increased the, instead of using the brush tool and trying to clean everything, just use the gradient. It'll be softer, easier, less messy. Cool. Alright, just gonna increase this right here. Temperature, just want it a little warmer. And then see, we can pump these highlights again. Now pump the shadows just a little bit. One thing I haven't done is pump up the clarity, and dehaze is really neat when especially when you shoot with the sky behind them. If you want to try to preserve some detail with a washed up sky and exposure, dehaze is really neat. It pretty much just adds a lot of contrast and increases shadows, as I can tell. But I'm not going to use it here. I'm going to pump up the vibrance. Okay, great. Oh, this is so distracting right here. But it's messy to try and clean up. I'm not going to bother. This, and that. Okay. Edit in Photoshop. I hurt myself today. Osmosis. Okay. No, don't zoom in, bro. Don't zoom in. I didn't ask you to zoom in. Control J, always make another copy because you don't want to mess up. Okay. Okay, dude. I got it. There's not the clone tool. Got it. He's like it wasn't even there, bro. He's magic. Control J just fixes it pretty quick. No clone tool or anything. Just anything that's distracting just quickly gets off it. Okay, that one's gonna be tricky, but let's see what we can do. Ooh. I'll use this. You know what? I'll just use the same one here. It's kind of messy. Ooh. Start this over. Go with another attack. Okay. What do? Stuck, guys. I'm just overthinking it, but let's see what we can do. Success. It's not too clean, but definitely something like we can work with to hide. Yeah. It's our little secret. Tell anybody, I'll kill you. Adding some darkness in there. Cool. Alright, we got rid of our pulse. Let's get rid of this guy. Well, not get rid of it, but get rid of the stuff that's turning the frogs GAY, just in case I get banned from YouTube for saying that. It turns the frogs GAY. That guy's crazy. If you don't know the story behind that, there was like a conspiracy theory that the jet exhaust turns the frogs gay, apparently. So, that guy's crazy. God, it keeps happening. So I'm just getting rid of clouds that just are noisy. You know, not very consistent in its pattern, so just clean it up a little bit. I use two tools for all this, which was the clone tool, and J, which is the healing brush. If you aren't familiar with a healing brush, you can do a lot with a healing brush. You can fix blemishes in the skin. And if you do it too much, you just gotta be careful not to overdo it, because then it'll just look like a bunch of blotches in the face, and then now you got other things you gotta worry about. Where's that tool? J. Wow, this song is playing right now. Sounds a lot like Time from Hans Zimmer. I'm gonna save it. There you go. It's called Unbreakable by Josh Kramer. It's an instrumental on Audio. Audio has two eyes, by the way. That's the website, Audio, AUDIIO. I'm not sponsored by them, guys. I'm just a sellout. Sponsor me, for God's sakes. Right. Chin hair. Well, she doesn't have chin hair. It's just the hair in her chin. So I'm not gonna worry too much whether it leaves a mark, only because obviously it's nobody's gonna be zooming in on this. It's a portrait that's supposed to look like this. So cool. So that's her after shot, before shot. I like it. Is there anything else we need to clean? All right, now I'm being picky. Why not, right? All right. Great stuff. It's very picky now. All right, so before you actually close this, I mean, save it. Don't hit Control S and save it as is. Hit Control E first to merge all your layers, and then just hit Command S. If you have a Mac, I don't know what the buttons would be on your Microsoft computer, but once you do that, it actually saves it back to Lightroom. There it is. So here's your original that I sent over before edit, and here's the new one. If you want to see the actual difference, there you go. So here's our before, here's our after. I don't know how the sky ended up turning darker. I don't remember what I did that the sky turned actually lighter over here, but oh well. It's just increase in vibrance over here. I don't know. It's okay. It doesn't bother me that much. Okay, it does, but I'll be fine. Cool. Alright, there's no winner. Save that. And that's it, guys. This is how I preserve my highlights. I use two tools in Lightroom, which is just the brush and then just the gradient brush. Then I learned the actual name. I thought there was another fancy name for it, but I called it the Blue Blab, so we'll go with the Blue Blab. So yeah, and then when it comes to editing in Photoshop, trying to hide stuff, I just use the clone tool and the healing brush, which is the J right there. Spot healing, yeah, one of the best tools you can get. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you watched the whole thing, let me know. Secret password is pineapple, and I will send you something nice. See you later, guys.